I knew the personality I had to have, but being a woman that grew up with just my dad and my brother, I grew up around a lot of men, so I kind of got the feel of like what it was going to be. But at the same time, like I really found a passion for it. I started getting good at it, and like I needed to make money, so I was going to stick with it no matter what was being said to me, no matter how many people were not sitting in my chair.
Absolutely.
I had people that got up. I remember, I'll never forget one time I was actually training a guy on a Sunday, and it was just me and him. So I had a view like what people were coming in. I'm like, okay, you can do this haircut. And certain haircuts, I'm like, that hair it's too hard for you.
Right.
One guy came in and he had like really coarse black hair, and he wanted a bald fade, and he was very light skinned, so that's a very hard fade to do if you don't know how to cut hair or if you're just new. So it's like, you know what, I'm gonna take him because he's new, I don't even know him, so I want to make sure he comes back here. And the guy looked at me, he's like, no, I'll wait for him. I said, oh yeah? I said, well, he's actually not really taking clients right now. He's like, well, why? He's not doing anything. And I was like, because he's actually being trained. He's like, oh, but he's being trained by you? He's like, what are you, the sweeper? And I'm like, excuse me? I said, you know what? He'll take you. Have a good day.
And how did his hair come out?
It didn't come out too good. I'm not gonna lie. And then he looked at me and he's like, can you would you be able to like fix my edges? I was like, no, I'm busy. I'm sorry. Can't. But like just... You didn't want to sit with me, and I'm an experienced barber, but you wanted to sit with someone just because he's a man that actually didn't even go to school, maybe cut one person in his life. It's just crazy. Like, people just are so quick to judge, and that's what it is.
How do you overcome that?
Strength, your mindset. I have a very strong mind.
And you have to, right?
You have to.
All right.
It's the same approach. Like whenever Aaron's on the basketball court and everybody gets chosen and he's the last person, he has to go and show out.
That is actual fact.
No one wants to pick me for basketball because I'm the shortest.
Oh, you play basketball too?
No.
I was about to say you not do.
No, but if I wanted to.
Listen, Lena is a strong, hard-working woman, right? And I wanted to ask you, because I know you have affiliations. Actually, you're under the management of the Pacino brand.
Yes.
What is your role under them? What are you guys actually doing under the whole Pacino
Well, we
umbrella?
teach a lot of classes. You know, he has his product. Honestly, it's changed so much since he started. Mm-hmm. And I actually met Pacino's because when I was working in the barbershop, I realized I sucked. And the guys that I worked with would sometimes like turn their chair so I wouldn't see what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, I'm taking clientele away from them. They knew I couldn't cut hair. They did not help me whatsoever.
They were hating.
It's not that. I'm sure even if a new guy was, it's just how, like, at the end of the day, I'm taking money away from you. So that's how I saw it. They probably did hate me. I don't know. They love me now. Anyway. But, so I was like, I need to look at classes. And YouTube wasn't cutting it. And this is like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And it's just, they didn't have the barbering classes they have now with, like, just everything brought to you by a phone that you can really learn how to do anything you want on a phone. So I was looking at class and I saw that this guy Pacino's, I actually was following him, did a class on the East Coast. So I said, I need to go to that class. And I wanted to go to the New Jersey one. My boss wouldn't let me take off work because I had to leave like 2 hours earlier to get there. So I was like, okay. So then I went to the New York one. I was like, I'm taking off. I need to, like, this is to help us. You have an ugly haircuts workout. Let me go take a class, please. So I went to his New York class, and he recognized me because he actually followed me on Instagram. And I was, I think, like one of the only girls in the class of like probably over 100 people, 150 people. So at the end of the class, you get your certificate, you got to take a picture with him, and he's like, you do really good work. And I was like, are you sure you're looking at my Instagram? But he's like, no, you're always working, whether you're like cutting hair, doing women's hair, doing makeup, doing weddings. He's like, your profile, your Instagram is very professional. He's like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm young, like I'm doing it to get clientele. I realized at a young age that I can use Instagram if I can even get one person that's still a steady person that's coming every month. So he's like, okay. He's like, keep up the good work and whatever. I left. A couple weeks later, he was saying that he was doing the app, the Pacino's app on the iPhone.
Oh, they got an app too?
He did awesome. 3 apps. So one he did by himself, and then the second app, he's like, I want you to be like, known as the first lady on my app. So I was the only woman barber. That was a hot mess because I remember I had my wall seniors. I was ready to go down to Florida. He flew me down just literally for the day to record my video and like come back up.
Wow.
And my seniors broke right before I was leaving. And I was like, I had to go to Sally's, get a new clipper. They didn't have the seniors. I had to get something else. And then still not knowing anything, I didn't realize the blades were different. The lengths on the blades were different. And I started using it. And he was like, what are you using? And I'm like, I don't know. My clipper broke. And I remember going to the shop, and he's like, don't be scared, don't be nervous. He's like, you're gonna be by yourself. He lied because we were in the barbershop, and people heard that there was a woman barber coming down to record the video. There was 45 men in that barbershop, eyes hawking me, like to the point that he had to tell people like, back up off her. Like, because I feel like they were hawking me, not because they were like, ooh, a woman. They were hawking me like, yeah, let me see if she can cut hair kind of thing. And I felt it. I felt that energy. And I was like, you need to step that negative energy away from me. I was like shaking. I did one haircut. I think we filmed for 3 hours because I was like so nervous.
Really?
Dripping sweat. I was dying.
Now, how do you overcome those nerves?
Got to get over it. You had to get over it. I was like, this is a huge opportunity, girl. Get it together. I was like, if you spend 5 hours cutting this hair, it does not matter. Make this haircut perfect.
Right, absolutely.
So then he picked out a model for me. Perfect. I was supposed to do more of a longer, like a little tape up with more longer hair to get my shear work down. The model canceled.
Oh, man.
So then we had to do a barber. I had to cut a barber from his barber shop. I said, oh my God. The worst hair. And Pacino's like, his hair is hard. Like, I have a hard time cutting his hair. I'm like, what the hell? Why am I cutting it?
Right.
So I literally, between my broken clipper, the worst hair to cut, or the hardest hair to cut, not the worst, but it was hard. I was like, oh, I have literally everything against me right now. I was like, just get it together. Tomorrow you'll be home. Don't worry about it. And I had to do it. I just sucked it up and did it. Right. And I've always, even like when I was younger, when I did weddings, like my old wedding boss would tell me, like, you work so good under pressure. Like, you just zone in and you kill it. So I was like, all right. So I try to keep thinking that, like, you're good under pressure, just do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So to get into that zone, does music help at all? Is that something that you look for to, get in your zone to get ready for a haircut?
When I'm doing, because if I'm cutting, it's either, I don't know, like I talk a lot, obviously. So I don't put music on when I'm cutting hair. Like, I listen to music. I always say I need the music on, but I don't like put headphones in or anything.
Right.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you. I was gonna see if music plays any type of role within your craft. Like, does it inspire you at all with different designs that you do?
Well, I mean, considering I told you I listen to Marvin Gaye, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I was about to say, because we have Drake on in the background.
Yeah.
You said you listen to country.
I honestly think because, like, I listen to, like, my music selection is very eclectic, and that's how I cut hair. I feel like I'm just such a versatile person. Like, one day I can look country, one day I look a little ghetto, one day I look Spanish, one day I look like a white girl. Like, you don't know what is going to, it depends on my mood. So, like, and I feel like I'm just so all-around type of person. Even, like, friend-wise, like, I have so many different groups of friends because I'm not just, like, a one-way thing. Right. And I feel like that's what comes down to my music, it comes down to my hairstyles, like, I can do, like, women's, men's, old men, young kids, your hair, his hair, like, it's her hair, like, everything.
I want to go back to what you said a couple of minutes ago. You said something about you were Puerto Rican, correct? You're Puerto Rican?
I'm half.
How was that growing up? People, like we were talking about, people
don't think I'm Puerto Rican. They only think I'm Italian. So that's why it's not bad.
Same thing. Yeah.
But no, yeah. I mean, I was raised with my dad's side and more. Like, I'm really close to my Puerto Rican side, but my parents got divorced and I stayed with my dad, so I feel like I was raised more Italian, I guess you can say. But I know how to salsa and I know how to cook Spanish food, okay?
There you go.
That's about it. I cannot speak a lick of Spanish.
No?
No.
Oh, wow.
I can, and you know what's weird? Because I actually like to sing. That's my other hidden talent that no one really knows about. But I listen to a lot of Spanish music, and I can sing. So my boyfriend's Puerto Rican, and he's like, it kills me that you could sing every word perfectly, and you have no idea what you're saying. No idea. I grew up listening to, like, Selena was one of my favorites, Romeo Santos, Mark Anthony. I listened to a lot of Spanish music.
That's how you know she has Hispanic. You saw how she said the Santos. Santos.
Romeo.
Do you like the song Despacito?
Yes. It's a little overplayed now, but Romeo's new album, though.
Yeah.
That's
I gotta check it out then. But with the hair part, I wanted to get your constructive criticism on my haircut. Toucan gave me a haircut. He did the colors and everything. If there's a few things that you can construct, what would you say?
No, I think it looks awesome.
What type of fade was it?
A drop fade?
Yeah.
No, it looks good. And you have an undercut. The undercut. See, my biggest thing was, like, the undercuts with the barbers. I feel like they would make their undercuts lines so crooked because I remember I would teach the classes and I would do a lot of undercuts because of, like, I wanted to show them where to part the hair. They're like, we don't have a tail comb. We don't use clips. That's a hairstylist thing. I'm like, no. And I would see them literally just section it with their finger and hold it up with their hair and try to cut with the other. I'm like, just section it away. That's why there's clips. So my main thing was, like, you could have a very perfect fade, but if your lines are all crooked, like, even like yours, like, if it's off-centered, you're gonna notice that.
Right.
And those are things that, like, hairstylists would make perfect and barbers wouldn't care about. I was like, but me, I look at everything. So, like, sometimes they would make the undercut line, like, way too high up, and then this is, like, bald. So the proportions and everything's perfect, so good job.